Evening, everyone. This is a caucus of the Jersey City Municipal Council. Today is Tuesday. Let me not be fooled by the holiday yesterday. Tuesday, February 21st, in the year 2017. It's February 21st, 2017. We had a 5:30 p.m. start. I'm silencing my phone. Hint, hint, everybody. Remember when your phone used to ring for free? We have a start time of 5:44 p.m. Present at roll call. Councilperson Gajewski. He will not be in attendance at the meeting as well. Councilperson Gadsden.
Here.
Bajiano. Yun.
Here.
Osborne. Absent at the moment. Robinson.
Here.
Rivera.
Here.
Waterman. At the present. And Council President Lavaro.
Here.
Okay, Council President, take it away.
Okay, we're going to begin with David Donnelly from the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency. And that's item 3G, G as in George. And Danny, are you joining him at the Redevelopment Agency? No. Okay. Okay, David, you want to take it away?
Yep. So this ordinance is a transfer ordinance. It's transferring it from the city to the JCRA. And it is our intention to then transfer the property to the Liberty Science Center and or nonprofit there related to. And you guys have seen this, the council has seen this before, the whole Sci-Tech City development, and that's what this is specifically for.
Is there an appraisal?
There is not, but the RDA requires an appraisal.
We ask for an appraisal. People want to know what the value of the land is.
In the RDA, in the RDA, we have an appraisal that will be done.
Until the appraisal comes, and we know more about what we're talking about.
Well, the reason for the appraisal is to deal with revenue on the back end, because this is going to be given to the Science Center for a nominal fee.
That's the problem. I'm not against the science. The people want to know, number one, why are we giving it to the Science Center? Number two, they're putting a hotel, which is for profit. Number three, what prevents them from turning around and selling it again?
They can't sell it again. It's not allowed.
It's not.
No, it will be in the deed. They will not be able to do that.
We want to know, people want to know, what is the value of this land that the city is giving away? Simple. We asked for it last meeting, the meeting before, and the meeting before. And we haven't gotten an
Council,
answer.
can I?
Yes.
David, and added to what the Councilman Richie Bujari mentioned to that, it's a city land. So before we turn to the JCRA, actually, when I look at it, the most powerful agency in the city of Jersey City today is a JCRA, because that's the one. So before we turn the land, we should be low there, what kind of value land we do that. Because as you know, when we sell the 2.5 acre in right here to the Jersey City Medical Center, how much we charge? $24 million. And this land located in the Liberty State Park is a prime location. Maybe not now, but in the 5 years later, will be prime location more than any other location, city of Jersey City. So we'd like to know what kind of land at the value we hand to JCRA. Okay. Number two, when you JCRA give the land to the JCRA to the Liberty Science Center, we'd like to know what kind of land to give to them, what conditions. So we like to see the contract between JCRA and Science Center, because once the land go out of our hand, City of Jersey City, we cannot control. You know that because you have your own board members. Actually, who is the board member, by the way? Who is the board member? Yeah.
Board members?
Yeah.
So it's both Council President Rolando Rivera and Councilman Danny Rivera.
Redevelopment agents, right? So there are other people probably there. So we have no way to control, you know? So we gotta make sure that every land we own, City of Jersey, is belong to people of Jersey City. The land can be used later on to any case where the tax gonna have so high, we maybe sell the land, lower the tax. It's asset to the City of Jersey. So we're not against it, you know, scientific cities, you know what I'm saying? But before we do that, we want to know, okay? So we provide to us the appraisal of the land of the valley and the 2 copy of agreement between JCRA and the Liberty Science Center.
Certainly that. We can certainly do that. Now, what I would ask, though, is that we introduce this, because this is just for introduction, and we will immediately get you copies of the deeds and the other things that you need before second reading.
See, I like to have, let's get first, and we talk about the transfer land. Without understanding what condition we transfer land to JCRA, I'm not feel comfortable, period. I think it's not only my field, I think the rest of the council feel the same way. Because when you give away something to JCRA, we should know that. And the land give to JCRA $1.
Dave, we want an outside independent appraiser.
Yes.
That's not politically or attached to any political things. And
First of all, that's when you deal with appraisers, they are licensed. So no matter who we hire, we're going to hire a licensed appraiser to do the appraisal.
for the planning person, come on,
But
please.
no, we use appraisers all the time, and we have to follow certain contract. You know, we contract specifically with specific appraisers who are licensed appraisers.
What's the process after?
Well, in this instance, the process is a little bit different. Within 30 days of closing, I believe, we're going to do the appraisal, correct? And that appraisal and that value will show how we share in any potential revenue in the future, and that's part of the redevelopment agreement. So there is a method and a process down the line to get to a value that the city will receive if and when this project is ever profitable.
So if the ordinance is approved and passed, then there'll be a closing, and then that's the last this council sees of it.
Yeah, so, but what will happen, though, is that there is a deed which requires that it be used for the specific project, and we're going to work out language where the city has, they cannot change the project. That will not be able to happen.
So, I like the project, Paul. I do like the project. So I'm not against the project, but I think the council members have a point, and that's without seeing the appraised value. So depending on what that value of that land is and what it's appraised at and so forth, it potentially, I mean, I know we've discussed some terms on the back end and things like that, but for me, and maybe for others as well, maybe some of those terms maybe should be altered depending on what the appraised value of that property is. You know, depending on how much we're giving out, may determine a little different.
Let's be clear, for this project to get off the ground, the Science Center, and correct me if I'm wrong, has to raise $78 million. So I can almost guarantee you the MUA and the city property is not worth $78 million.
See, you say just right. When even say that last council meeting, and not only myself, councilman will be, Chris Gasser is heard that, every people is heard that. Before we turn to the land, to the JCRA, we like to know funding source. How we're gonna be, you know, that what they call Liberty Science to come up at least $78 million, the way you say, till without knowing funding source for that Liberty Science, we not feel comfortable, because you know why? Before we discuss this matter, we discuss amended Liberty, what are they called? The Liberty Science redevelopment plan, we amend. We put you one of the items, hotel. I'm not feel comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So please, instead of argue with us, provide us information what we city council looking for. So then we can make this meeting shorter than what we expect. Other than that, I'm not feel comfortable. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one. Councilman Downey, we are not going to feel comfortable. When you give her something, she knows the value. And what condition they're going to give to you, the JCI, to the Liberty Science Center. And when you give the land, we want to know whether Liberty Science Center money's come from. Not sell the piece of land to the hotel to build. We don't know. So that's what you say. You know what I'm saying? So you can say no, but we like to see by documentation. You know what I'm saying? Because we all here short of time. Maybe end of this year we are not going to be here. Maybe, but if we put you on the front writing somewhere, you know, when I even go back to just a plain taxpayer of Georgia City, I can bring up the issue in the city of Georgia City. So please, all right? We're not as whole lot. Okay, Chris?
And for the sake of just being transparent, like when we was at the last council meeting and everyone was asking about the value of the land at Liberty Science Center, like that's always gonna come about. And so this is just another extension of that project. So people would like to know the dollar value, you know, of that land. So that's just one of those things that just has to, you know, accompany this, like what's it's worth, because that's what the whole city's gonna cry. We're giving away land again, and we don't even know what the worth is. So that's not.
Well, the thing is, we don't give out land these days. We don't. So this is an exception, right?
Yes, it is an exception.
So if we're granting that exception, we should have as much information, I think.
And I mentioned to the last meeting, 1990, when a lot of people in the city of Jersey get so pissed off because they called the Newport City, you know?
Angry.
Angry.
That's the new word.
Okay, angry. That people so angry about it because they're called Newport City. They act like they're a different city out of Georgia City. But now, Scientech City, it sounds like it's a separate city again. And not only that, when the Liberty Science Center, when you build after that, they never say that Georgia City. They say exit. Oh,
Dave, I fought them
Yes,
20-some
we
odd years
fought that
ago
for.
and had a big fight about that. Yeah. We're not after the Science Center.
so no, you know what?
Rich, I've been at Liberty Science Center for 6 years, and the reason I'm here is because my predecessor didn't do a great job. We have 225,000 more people are coming than when I started 6 years ago. And the reason they're coming is because I say Jersey City in every sentence I utter. People need to know where the place is to come.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's stuff that's 8 or 9 years old. Okay? And right now, just so you understand, we are drawing annually 474,000 people from outside Hudson County to Jersey City. So our commitment to this city, I employ 101 people from Jersey City. A third of my full-time and part-time workforce is from Jersey City.
We're not arguing about
No, we're not. We know. To see that
Science is not, I
There's a
have
science-
ownership to there.
Yeah.
With 4 kids, I think.
Scientech City,
So, you know.
it's bring up to that kind of a case. It sounds like different. Sounds like a city of outside of Georgia City. So, we mentioned to that. Please don't confuse the general public. So make sure that Liberty Science, the whole project, the Scientech Valley, whatever you call, to just make sure that it's a part of Georgia City. That's what I'm looking
So
for.
I think people should, council should understand a couple of things. One, in our RDA, and we will show the RDA, that's why I'm asking that it be introduced tomorrow. In the RDA, it requires an appraisal to be done. This appraisal helps us determine future revenue that may come back to the city, okay, when the project is done. And that's part of the RDA, and I will get that to you. The other reason why we're trying to get this done now, quite simply, is that until the land is dedicated to the project properly, the executive director of the Science Center cannot begin to start raising money. He has to raise $78 million to get this project started, period. Every day we wait is a day less that he can be making phone calls to begin to raise this money. You have not only this meeting, but the next meeting, and I promise you we will get these things to you. And Councilman, I know you have my email. You email me any question, and we will try to answer all of those questions for you between now and the next meeting. We can also sit down with you and answer those questions with you now and the next meeting. But please, there is, in our RDA, there is an appraisal process. No, I do not have that number tonight for you, what that number is. But the appraisal process, if you just, please let me finish, and then you can beat up on me. The appraisal process basically sets forth how we deal, if there is any profit, okay, in this project in the end, that the city then shares in that revenue. We were very careful about that. This project will not see profit for a long time, if ever. It is not meant for that. This is an economic, economic development in its truest form. We're going to bring in the best and the brightest to a school here in Jersey City, K through 12. We're going to bring the best and brightest entrepreneurs and inventors into, I keep calling it an incubator, but you now call it
Optimizer.
the optimizer, this scientific optimizer, okay, along with an extended stay portion that will house some of the best scientists in the world. This is literally a game changer, a vision changer for Jersey City. So I am just asking you to introduce this on Wednesday, okay, and therefore I can show you where the appraisal part comes in the RDA. We should have had the RDA to you. I apologize. That is my fault. But I can give you the RDA well in advance in 2 weeks, and I can literally get it to you, the copies of the RDA on Wednesday or Thursday, so that you can see that there is a connection between the appraised value and what comes back to the city. That's all I'm asking.
David, I'm not criticizing you, period, but I'm going
Please
to say this
continue.
way.
Go too far.
You should, before you bring up this one, you have to suppose to prepare for your own plan. You're not even prepared for that. Now you're talking about all those things. Listen, we have an executive same vision like what you have. We're not against it. We support it. I delight it, really. It's about time we bring up the real things in Jersey City. 100%. But actually, as a council person, as a taxpayer, we want to make sure for that. You only take another month, you know, and this is not short-term plan. It's going to take maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. But that 1 month, we like to know actually what is it. Transparency, not only you are the only one can see. Transparency, we all this room people can see.
Dave,
We're not against your plan.
Dave, if they're gonna raise $78 million, then why did the city have to bail them out a couple of years ago? That's number one. Number two, the medical center, which is probably the greatest institution in this city here, we charged, what, $14 million?
$24 million for 2.5 acres.
2.5 acres. Give the money back to the medical center then. I mean, this is wrong. If they could raise $78 million, they could raise 98. We got a tax revow coming, and people are worried, scared stiff. We're losing residents in this city, family residences in this city moving south because they can't afford to pay the taxes. You know, you gotta start considering the citizens of Jersey City that are paying the taxes. I have nothing against the Science Center. I have absolutely nothing. I'm a member. My kids go there, my grandkids go there. It's the greatest institution, one of the greatest institutions in Jersey City. But when you're giving away this amount of land that's probably valued in the millions, people wanna know. And people are on my back, up in the Heights and in Journal Square.
So, David, just make it clear, long story make short, we support your project, we're not against it, okay? But just please provide the paper what we're looking for, okay? And you keep saying R&D, what, I don't know what that means, that, fine.
Call it to redevelopment.
Okay, good.
It's a contract, just so you know.
Yes.
It's a contract, I'm sorry, I shouldn't speak in acronyms, I apologize. It's a contract between the JCRA, the Jersey City Redevelopment Agency, and the developer, in this case, Liberty Science Center.
Okay, so, well, we just make it clear, we like the appraisal report. Number two, we like to have a contract between JCRA and the Liberty Science Center. And another one, name consideration, you know, instead of
By
scientific
contract, you
city.
mean,
Yeah,
by contract between JCRA and,
Liberty Science
talking
Center.
about the redevelopment agreement?
Yes, and we like to add a mention to that. If we turn the land to JCRA, we like to, from the Science Center, how they're gonna be $78 million funded source, where they come from. We like to know, because I don't want you to turn the land, Liberty Science, okay, we're gonna have $78 million, because we're gonna give to 10 acre or 3 acre for the hotels, whatever. I just say it, you know what I'm saying? Their funding come from, we never know. That place is not designed to build a hotel. More likely, the way you say, Scientech, Valley, I like to call the Valley, what Riverview, whatever you call, you know what I'm saying? So please, instead of we keep arguing, I like my suggestion, we do this one.
Let's move on.
Okay. Thank you, Councilman.
Yep.
So is it withdrawing? All right?
Okay.
Where to, Council President?
Steve Miller. He has 10O as an Oscar.
Could have let him wait all night.
Steve has never gone this early.
He'll be here
Steve would
anyway.
have been happy to let us watch us put the lights out anyway, so. Good, Steve, this is Avid change for the energy, we're at O. Authorizing the award of contract to Avid Exchange for the New Jersey Tracking and Bill Management System under state contract without public bidding.
What is it? I don't know.
O is an Oscar. Oh, 10-0.
So now, this one I like to know really.
This is basically paying our street lighting bills and our electricity bills. This is the vendor that, the third party that reviews our bills and the payment goes through them. So we're not paying them $6 million. This is money that's going to PSE&G. But they have a database of all our invoices. They go through them each month, make sure they're accurate, we're being billed properly. Steve kind of oversees that process.
So it costs $40,000 for them to do the service, so.
Do the service of reviewing the invoices and paying bills.
It's like a paying the bill for us. But now let me ask this one. This company, we not just had to pay our bill. More likely, when I look at it, saving energy, I don't know. Do you have any comparison chart year by year? This company, what kind of savings they bring to the city of Jersey City?
So this is we had them for 1 year. We should ask them to provide us a report, of what they've identified.
We can ask that.
Can't you do that?
Yep.
Sure. So we have to see if they found.
So, from this company's contract was since when? 2013 was it?
Last year was the first year.
No, last
That's was it 2015,
This is
right?
the second year.
Yeah, great, very interesting. You know what I'm saying? So,
Started in May of 2015. So we have 1 year and a little bit.
so like you know what I'm saying, so we see that even though we
Sure.
spend $40,000, was it $40,000? What, yeah, $40,000 paid, billing paid, you know, what kind of dollars say we actually got, you know? All right, can't you do that? Good, thank you.
Thank you.
Brian Waller?
That was illuminating.
Brian has 10Q and 10R.
Good evening, Council. These two resolutions are tied together for the same project, Phase 3 at 394 Central Avenue for new furniture, so that we can wrap up this project hopefully soon.
This
There's-
is the old parking authority building where we're moving the employees from Journal Square into the renovated parking authority building, 394 Central. Well, currently purchasing is there, and we're moving treasury, payroll, accounts control, and pension in the next few months. So this is the furniture to outfit the remaining, I guess, first floor. Second floor, and the parking enforcement people that are there as well.
Kennedy Boulevard. I mean, what they do, throw it all out?
Well, those cubicles are quite old, but what we can salvage, we will take and use for storage and use them any other facility that needs them. You know, the space was designed, you know, we had to fit more employees in there that's used to, so we had to get furniture that accommodated the space.
People, but they could spend a lot of money on furniture. I watch them downstairs throwing out tons of furniture from this
Yes,
building.
it's a break my heart.
It's a shame.
You know, we're gonna spend $160,000 for the new furniture. I actually, Steve Miller, you know that, how long was 6 months ago? I screaming like a hell to him. Because the furniture located second floor is all metal, brand new to me. You know, so even I didn't have one of those kind of very nice furnitures. And the plant gonna be, you know, the dumped it. You know, come on.
Well, I think it's unfair to say it was new, because the thing's 15 to 20 years old, what they're talking about.
It's not how old is the one, the more likely. You know, condition is very important. Because those kind of furniture is hardware furnitures and the metal. So aging is one thing, but condition is more important than aging for the, when I look at it as a taxpayer. Yes, aging maybe 15 years, but condition is very good. And also, those kind of furniture what are they called, as a repairable, the furniture actually.
Everything you say is
Right.
true.
However,
This space is very tight, and we were charging the architect with fitting as many people in as possible. The old system furniture was too large, so he wouldn't have been able to get as many people in there. So to make the most efficient use of the space, and to make the best, well, how do I say? Used furniture, there's costs involved with dismantling, removing, moving, reassembling, and during those processes, things get broken. So we've had a lot of experience with reusing existing furniture. So you put those two issues together, the fact that they're oversized for the space and we can't accommodate as many people, and then we're dealing with, mismatched and outsourced materials. It turns out to be better putting a product in so that it stays with the longevity of the project. I mean, we put a new roof on the building. It's good for 20 years. The furniture should last at least that long or better.
So try to maximize the space, put some more people in the room. But when I was today, very nice, really. Wow, better than mayor's office, really. Furniture is so good, and but I give you some the good things that used to be that the petition closed actually work. That people separate each other, but they're very low, very nice design. I can give you credit for that. But
It's not done yet, but we're looking.
yeah.
Brian, you got all this money for all these moves, like selling 8 Avery Street, going up to One Journal Square, where the hell it is, going over to the Parking Authority, going down to Marion Gardens. How about doing something about this horror show here with these council offices? I mean, they're spending money all over the place. We must be wealthy in this city. Come on, this is wrong. This is absolutely wrong.
Can we make sure that the DP does actually change the light bulb?
We're working on bathrooms.
Brian, thank you, good job.
That's it. Thank you.
Q&R, the same thing. One's for the,
One is for office furnishings, the other's for the systems furniture.
so the administration is going to be pulling the SciTech ordinance for tomorrow's meeting.
Oh, okay, so they're gonna pull it?
Yes,
Being pulled.
Richie did.
Rich did it? Somebody texting you?
What resolution was that about?
It was 3G that we just discussed with Dave Donnelly.
Okay.
Okay, Bernadette? Oh,
Here
this is
for
Bernadette.
10M.
Hi, Bernadette.
For those of you who don't know, this is our new IT director. So all of these who have your email problems, here you go. Here's your opportunity.
Let's all welcome Bernadette. How do you say your last name?
Kuharchuk.
Kuharchuk? Bernadette Kuharchuk. Welcome,
Thank you.
and welcome to our caucus meeting.
Thank you.
First one.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, Bernadette has 10M. M is in Mary and 10P is in Paul.
Can I ask, before we start this one, let me have some complaint as a new director. First things, when I make a phone for IT, probably nobody pick up the phone.
I'm working on that.
I mean, what kind of department they are? You gotta keep an eye for that, really.
Yes, sir.
No, because you just started. Before I want you to be part of them, I want to make sure that you got to correct the problem. First things,
Yes, sir.
not first time, many times I call, never.
I can assure you, she's definitely rattling some cages down there, and she has a military background, so she really has a no-nonsense attitude. So I can assure you, the culture down there will be changing.
Like, so fax your request to the IT department is the most ironic thing that I've ever seen. And that, I have seen that, so.
I was in the Air Force for 8 years. I was a navigator on the KC-135 aircraft. So. And I have an air medal from Gulf War I. So, yes, sir.
ahead, Rich.
Okay, everyone.
So now, number one, they complain. Number two, the lot of budget we spend
For IT department, because we got new director, so we brought our concern. And we make a lot of, what do they call, the contract for software part of it. But before we make a contract with any software, there should be some kind of grace period, let's maybe 90 days try, actual try, not just test by a few people sit on the desk, maybe 90 days trial in the software so in the citywide. If it doesn't work, we're able to revoke the contract, something like that, you know what I'm saying? Some kind of things we should be built, you know? And the third thing is that especially at a lot of departments, maybe they have a duplicate service, probably they have, you know what I'm saying? So we should be find out any duplicate service, or because of that, our maintenance contract get higher. Because XYZ company provide a networking system with other function, and the other company provide so-and-so with a networking. See, those things we pay for that, because in case, so we should about time to filterize that the old contract to limit the duplicate.
She has already picked up on?
Is that right?
Yes, because I've been pushing her to get her IT maintenance contracts up here, because I know how the council hates January 1st contracts coming in March and April. And because she's new, she's analyzing and reviewing every agreement, discussing, calling vendors, getting additional quotes. And there are times where she's felt where some equipment has been maintained by one and also by another vendor. So she's already picked up on this, so.
And when
so-
they go to the cloud instead of having on-premise stuff, et
yes.
cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So give her a little bit break for the next month or two as stuff still comes in, because she's doing exactly what you're saying, Councilman.
So another one is that if we say $500,000.
Councilman, if you could get
Go right
to
to the
Yeah.
thing she's.
Let's send her our stuff. I mean, we have a whole
Yeah.
white paper that we
Yeah.
did.
All right, you want me to do that? All right, so we go this one.
No other concerns, let's talk about what's on this agenda.
10M,
It's a renewal of network management solutions.
Network Manager Solutions. Tell us what we're renewing here?
Yes, it's a agreement we have outsourced for the hardware and software support for our infrastructure.
This is actually the same vendor that does the same work for Bob Baker's, the police and fire, public safety. Yeah, they have a contract with the public safety, who has a much larger network than Bernadette has.
Okay, any questions? Good.
So the city's not on the same network as police?
Public safety has its own network. Yes. If you ever notice on their email addresses, it's not jcnj.org, it's njjps.
We are working with public safety though, and to try to find places where maybe we could bring some savings to the city by having some of those things done together. And as an example, we're going out with telephone, things that you'll see from purchasing a short extension while we're getting quotes for our telephone services, and we're going to be doing that together because we believe we'll be able to have better savings from the vendors when we do that.
Okay, any questions on 10M? 10P, P is in Paul. It's a resolution authorizing an agreement with H&L Systems for the support of proprietary computer software.
This is our finance system, finance and accounting system. FOW.
Yes, this is the nuts and bolts of our tax abatement, tax office, and financial system. Our purchasing, yes, so this is the nuts and bolts of our general ledger.
This is a user fee, right? $125,000 a user fee. Annual.
And it includes upgrades and maintenance to the system as well. And support. They also reach out and assist the tax collector's office and the finance office from time to time.
They've been here a while, we've had this system 15 years.
Is this the best system after 15 years?
Is it the best system? It's the system we're used to.
I got it.
I'm sure Burnett would have other opinions. We won't share those today.
Okay. Hearing no questions, thank you, Bernadette. You're welcome.
You went off easy.
Paul
Russo. You representing Joe Cunha today. Paul Pool's one of our engineers.
Good evening, council.
Good evening.
Yes.
Thank you.
Wow, you're done. Run.
I don't know what is the good job, but I just say good job.
What are we here for?
Yeah, you ready for 3A?
A couple times, outside of this situation.
Want to start clean? Can we do 3A? Vacation of State Street?
3A is vacation?
Yeah,
I'm
vacation of
sorry.
State Street.
Yeah, that's not me.
That's not you?
No, I
It's
think,
here on your list.
I started with
That's G.
3B.
3B. You're on. Talk about 3B.
Okay, so 3,
Is vehicles and traffic designating Kearney Avenue from Ocean Avenue and Martin Luther King as one-way west.
Yes, so I am not the traffic and transportation, but they ran an in-depth study, and they concluded that it simplifies traffic patterns. It also keeps it consistent and cohesive with the parallel roads that are next to it, such as Orient Avenue and Virginia Avenue.
This is that requested for the annex that we're building there.
Yeah.
To accommodate, yeah.
Parking on both sides, diagonal parking?
Exactly.
That's what we're shooting for. If it's wide enough, we want to do diagonal parking. I don't know if we can do both sides. They're doing they're measuring it out. Right now, I'm hearing it's not wide enough for diagonal though.
Yeah, I think it'll be both sides probably parallel. They're looking into the measurement, whether they can put one side possibly at like a 45-degree angle. Sometimes that helps, but whatever we do, we're going to maximize the spaces.
I have a request from the neighbors.
They also want Rose Avenue to be a one-way. I was actually out there talking to some of the neighbors the other day in reference to Kearney Avenue being a one-way, and a fire truck was trying to get through the street and one car had to back up out just to let it pass. Because if you park on both sides of Rose, you can't, it's a two-way. It's only one car width.
Sure. Basically, any type of traffic or transportation issue arises a number of ways. More and more, we get see-click-fix issues, and they're fantastic, and they're working absolutely great for us, and we're really kind of have our ear to the residents' mouth with, you know, all of these issues because of see-click-fix. So this type of thing very often comes through a see-click-fix issue, very often through council members, or just, you know, engineers that see something wrong. But I will absolutely bring that up to our traffic and transportation department. And if you wanted to put in a see-click-fix so we have documentation of it, that would be extremely helpful. And then we also do a traffic study, so, you know, after we get a complaint, we don't just run out there and change things. There obviously has to go do a lot of research in it and traffic studies in it, and then we also work with the hard data that we have from the traffic study, and then it has to also comply with the MUTCD, which is a manual of federal manual guidelines. So with that being said, we'll look into Rose Avenue and see if it's applicable. Sure.
So the current flow of traffic, whether from Ocean going to Martin Luther King Drive, from Ocean is gonna go back towards Martin Luther King Drive, right? That's a one-way?
Yeah.
And so Virginia goes down that same direction, right?
They go opposite. So it would be going.
They go west.
Yeah, so Virginia is going west, and Kearney would be going opposite east.
So it's gonna be opposite from the, MLK to Bergen Avenue? I thought it was gonna flow alongside of it.
So Kearney and Virginia both go west.
Yeah.
Howard, we're going to enter into the complex to Martin Luther King.
You're saying through.
There's this main entrance to the hub off MLK.
The main
Yeah,
entrance.
so
MLK.
That's gonna be the only entrance.
MLK.
Okay, so our entrance is through MLK for the shopping center, for the city annex.
Correct.
Everything. And then
Yes.
everything is gonna filter out through Virginia
Yeah,
and Kearney.
that's correct. So again, they do.
Isn't it, planned for?
A pedestrian plaza for MLK, I mean for Virginia?
I
No?
Not seen that part of the plan, so I can't comment on that right now.
And what is that? So the
Pedestrian plaza, on Virginia, and the light rail.
I have not seen that plan, but I'll talk to traffic and transportation.
From what I heard. Okay, we'll check, I'll check with Greg Corrado in the morning.
Okay.
Okay, you have another item?
Yes, C is designating the intersections of Carlton Ave, Montrose Ave, Congress Street, and New York Avenue, and Manila Avenue, and 2nd Street as multi-way stop intersections. And just kind of how I explained before, these requests come up quite often through different outlets, whether it's the C-Click Fix or, residents or council members. And these were a set of different areas that came up. We've done the traffic studies, we've done all the hard data and design, and we feel that these are able to be approved, and we can go through the process at the next meeting, how to go about and try to designate one of these areas if you have any additional areas. We're putting together a PowerPoint presentation because it seems to be coming up quite often. So traffic and transportation at the next meeting will be putting together a presentation and going over this process in greater detail.
Okay, by the way, thank you for that, the 4 ways to Congress Street, East and West New York Avenue. I'd really appreciate it for that.
Absolutely.
A lot of problems.
Yep.
Is that the next caucus meeting?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Okay, you guys, these are Candace and Councilman Young, these are yours?
Yep.
3C, your streets, right?
And they've all been approved by the council members. The next one is, I don't know if planning wants to take D, but I could go over it. Oh. So for D, it's the ordinance accepting CPA 99 Hudson LLC, a dedication of certain roadways, sidewalks, and utilities within the Hudson Street right-of-way. So this is really a planning board issue. It was obligated to do so in the Colgate redevelopment plan. And with that being said, right now it is under construction, but we will have a 1-year maintenance bond following the delivery of the deed. So it will be handed over in acceptable form once the deed is proceeded with.
It's just a small sliver of land.
Yeah, it's a small sliver of land. Next item we have, the next items we have on resolutions, F, G, H, and I. And these are all,
We're going to F, G, H, and I. F, G, H, and I are all applying for grants. F for the 2017 Bikeways Program. G for the 2017 Municipal Aid Program. H for the New Jersey 2017 Transit Village Program. And I, the 2017 Safe Streets to Transit Program.
so I'll go over real quick, just bullet points, and if anybody has any questions. But the Bikeways program is phase 3 of 4, so we've submitted for this in the past and received funding twice for phases 1 and 2. We are continuing with that, which is typically a really good thing to do with DOT grants. They like to see a chain, and they like to carry out phases. So this is phase 3 of 4. We'll be requesting $150,000 for signs, thermoplastic, parking, that type of thing to increase bikeways. When all 4 of these phases are carried out, it will be a total of 5 miles. So this one is about 1.25 miles worth. Yeah, so as of now, planning is putting together a master bike plan. Which they're taking in, a lot more information and trying to come up with a more cohesive plan. This will be kind of adding to what we have prior to the master bike plan coming out. And it will be, like I said, mainly thermoplastic signs and parking to make bikeways and biking more efficient.
There's no funding allocated to the protected bike.
No. Nope.
We're gonna spend $150,000, right?
This is not spending anything. This is requesting for the grant. Yep.
But when you do that, we try to share with the dollars to like a height area, because I'm pretty sure downtown is the most people use a bicycle. A second area is probably height.
Sure.
So we should be, there are a lot of, the bike lines gone, you know what I'm saying, already.
Sure.
So we got some pay attention to the height,
With this one, it's phase 3 of 4, so it's kind of already written in how they wanted to carry it about, and it's way before my time that we wrote it. So it's already miscellaneous throughout the city, and it goes into detail within the application about where to use it.
Who pays the bike lanes and all that stuff?
That would be contracted out, so.
Do we still have a contract with that?
We have a thermoplastic contract, but not through this project.
No, I don't know. He's asking for things to get seen to.
Oh, you're asking for additional things, or you're saying to change the? Yeah. You could reach out to me, and we have a contractor already contracted out to do
I'll take care of it.
exactly that. Yep. The next one is the municipal aid. Everybody's familiar with municipal aid projects. This one is through wards A and B. It's 2.1 miles. It is requesting 1.98 million. Typically, we get usually over $1 million each year. This year, the pool is a little bit bigger, and we're expecting to get a little bit more than that. I'll give you the locations. It is Academy Street from Van Rypen to Mill Road from Academy Street to Montgomery, Wayne Street, Gray to Corneliuson, and Corneliuson, Wayne to Summit. Oh, excuse me. No, wrong page. No, I'm sorry. It's West Side Avenue from Grant to Danforth, Claremont, 440 to JFK, Audubon, West Side to JFK, and College Street, Audubon to Culver. No, this is municipal. Yeah, this is municipal aid, so this is all, yeah, and concrete handicap ramps to go with whatever the limits. Correct. Roadway and minor concrete.
Wow. That's so wrong. $1.9 million. The most $1.9 million go West Side Avenue, that area. When we gonna be Ward D, how it's gonna be? Have some.
So, just like I said, they like to, DOT grants specifically likes to do areas in a chunk. So we don't kind of do miscellaneous throughout the city. We kind of go through different wards. If you remember the road program, we did split it very evenly throughout the 6 wards, and we ended up almost doing 80 streets with this last road program, and we were very careful in making sure we split it evenly throughout the 6 wards. But with the application, they like to really focus on one area, and they also like to piggyback on other grants. So we have a federal grant for the north of Grant on West Side. So this will connect to that grant, and the state likes to connect multiple grants to do a whole run. And it also has to do with the...
This one included the resurfacing and the street fixture, the street lighting, lamp systems.
No lighting, no lighting. This is very much just concentrated on the road, and only the concrete, which is mandatory at the intersections, the handicap ramps, to bring them up to federal standards.
For a street like Grand Avenue between Kennedy Boulevard and West Side, that's written inside of the grant, right?
West side is,
No.
west side, the side streets have to be done
West side.
by us.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's the length of West Side Avenue between Grant and
From
Danforth.
Grant to Danforth.
Correct.
Not Grant itself.
No, you do keyways, so you basically typically go like 25 feet at the intersections to tie them in. Yeah.
So now, let me ask this, which grant about? Which grant they're able to do that street resurfacing and putting the street new land, street land, change the street benches, those kind of things. So which grant they're able to do those kind of work?
There are streetscaping grants.
Okay,
but
streetscaping grants, that's what I like to hear.
Yep.
When we get it and how we gonna do it? To distribute it. Because Palisade Avenue is really, they need the streetscape because that development coming Palisade Avenue with that road condition, the sidewalk condition is out of control.
Yeah.
So they have to earn the priority number one, because encourage the continued development, the redeveloped the Palisade Avenue. They need that the sidewalk, new lamp, those kind of jobs have to provide. In the Central Avenue even, street repaving required because almost 20-some years old.
Sure.
And the street lamp and the street fixture is old. It's out of date actually, you know. Yeah. And this street fixture actually older than that any department fixture, the desk. So we have to take care of that.
I understand.
So which grants is that?
There are some streetscaping grants, and we've heard that specific location. And if a streetscaping grant does come about where it actually allows that scope, we would absolutely keep that in mind. And
well, when we usually get the streetscaping grant from the Fed.
You have to see when they offer it.
Oh.
So,
Then on regular basis, not
No.
offer? No.
so every grant that's becoming available, engineering is pretty much on it. We also have our grant consultant that makes us aware of these various grants that become available for us. Right now,
Why
it's
don't you have a meeting and
offline.
discuss and figure out
Thank you, President.
how to address some of your needs.
Because in here it does say, from Claremont, what I meant to say was from the top part of Claremont, from Kennedy Boulevard, all the way down to 440, right?
Correct.
Yes,
you did say that.
Yes.
Yeah, so within this grant, would that allow for roadways and like sidewalks and things like that?
it's not sidewalks. If there's a really, really bad stretch of sidewalk, that's a tripping hazard and.
Like between 440 and Mallory, like there's no sidewalk. There's no sidewalk on the side of
Very dangerous.
near the storage unit right there. So would this grant, help out whatever with some sidewalks?
would it install a sidewalk that's not there?
Yeah.
We can look into it, but technically not. So if we very often, so when we did the road program last year, we split it up into two contracts, one concrete and one paving. And for things such as that, we were able to use that money at that time. But this grant specifically, no. It's pretty strict with just being road resurfacing and handicap ramps, which we're also, absolutely in need for. But we'll definitely consider that, for sure.
And then 10H, which is a grant contract with DOT for the Transit Village program.
Yes, so this is the Journal Square area, and it's basically pedestrian safety and mobility that we're trying to improve around Journal Square. Again, just the submission of a grant, same thing, submitting for $350,000 on pedestrian safety around Journal Square.
And then the last one here, 10T, is also a grant submission.
Yep, also very similar, and this one's around Liberty Park Light Rail.
Okay. Any questions about 10T?
10I.
Oh, 10I rather, I'm sorry, 10I. My eyesight is terrible.
Great job.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
And due to time constraints, I wanted to ask if we could do, which one is it? Candace, you know the number? 3F. So 3F is the no-knock ordinance, essentially. So I think everybody here is familiar with it. And I recall from an earlier emails last summer that folks chimed in from Councilman Yun to Councilman Bogiano. Everybody was supportive in some ways, expressed their support for some form of a no-knock. This ordinance evolved as a result of, as you know, from Michael Griffin sending the City Council a petition that residents who are complaining about overly aggressive real estate solicitation, himself, and then Chris Gadsden, then not Councilman Gadsden, but Chris Gadsden worked and got petition signatures, brought those to the council's attention via electronically, and then we also received a resolution from the Freeholder Board calling on the City Council to execute a cease and desist as it pertains to real estate solicitation. So after looking at some models, decided to pull together kind of a roundtable of community stakeholders around this, pastors in the community, along with Mr. Griffin and rabbis as well, and sat together around the table for 3-4 meetings, going back to September, October, and then just concluding earlier this month. And this is the product of that, and it's fairly self-explanatory. It establishes a no-knock registry that people can opt into, and it prohibits, if you're on that registry, you'll get a decal affixed to the door or someplace visible, and essentially makes it a criminal offense for anyone to knock and solicit for commercial purposes, and exempting charitable, religious, and political activities from such solicitations.
I think I super applaud this effort. I guess I just go to, does everybody have a cell phone? And do they love that they don't get, does anybody remember before you had cell phones when you had landlines and people called all the time? And then there was a thing in the opt-out list versus on your cell phone, the way Congress wrote it, it's blocked unless you opt in. So is there a reason why we can't just opt in, like, and let people sign up to be advertised to versus to have to opt out? Because I think in terms of actual outcome, you'd probably end up protecting more people that way.
You know, the unintended consequences, I think, of, you're saying everybody's in unless you sign up to get out.
Yeah. The same way on your phone.
Yeah.
The reason why we all love this compared to the landlines is Congress got something right, which is very rare.
So that people who do in fact don't want to opt in, to use your term, how would they communicate that to people? Put a decal on their door saying, feel free to knock? I mean...
Sure. Well, there's two separate issues, right? One is the decal, not decal, which I was actually going to bring up as a separate point, and the other is list, not list. It's a list. So it's either a list of people who don't want it or a list of people who do. So it is what it is. There's a list.
But you have to provide outward notice to people who are on the street walking around soliciting their goods or whatever, their services, and this is the way to do it. Maybe, you know, my advice, frankly, would be to adopt this, and then if it does receive broad support, then we can look at some other options.
If there's like a large number of signups and so forth, and maybe it's...
Right, maybe you start to say, oh, well, gee, everybody in the city likes this, maybe we ought to do it citywide, but...
Yes, except for like, I feel like sometimes like there's, you know, when you talk about adoption and access versus legislation, sometimes they don't necessarily correlate, right? Like you have a law and you create it and people don't know about it. I mean, I can tell you, for example.
Putting people out of work, totally. You're shutting down an entire industry and multiples of that industry, people who do door-to-door sales. So, and how do you put them on notice? I'd have to think about it, let me do some research, but, you know, it doesn't strike me as workable, frankly, but.
How is it workable on the phone? How is that workable?
Well, you have federal law, number one, you have the technology that allows you to do that on an individualized basis. So nobody they do opt out, you have to block, right? So if I get a phone call from somebody, I block them.
An advertiser cannot contact you on your cell phone. Never happened to me.
Oh, it's happened to me dozens of times. I don't know what world you live in. You must be too high tech to me.
If we're going to get technical, you probably inadvertently opted into something you didn't realize that you did, but through signing some paper. But anyways, my point is that.
Can you make it stop?
Robert,
It could be
if
better.
I can just say, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea, I just, this process, this is what the stakeholders were seeking and
It's what
asking
the
for.
It's
Yeah.
what the courts have approved as well. So my advice would be to go with what you know has been judicially reviewed and approved, and also seems to make some more sense to me, at least sitting here, than shutting down an entire industry of people who solicit for.
I'm just worried that the people that you're intending to protect don't end up knowing about it, because again, like, so let's just get, like, let's take a totally different example, right? So without a big outreach, I don't think people know, because so there's 50,000 people who live in downtown, right? And some new building goes up, and I blast it out on my Facebook, I put it on my Twitter, we do, you know, the neighborhood association does it, we do 100 million meetings, we notice the planning board in the paper, we do everything else, and, you know, all of about 400 people know what's going on, and the other 50,000 minus 400 don't, and every single one of them has no clue, and then they see the building go up and they get upset and whatever. So my only point is just, how do we make sure that the very people we're trying to protect, we actually are able to, because they just never know about it.
Going to ask to have it included in the tax bills, an insert of some sort, put it on JCTV, I mean, definitely putting it
The
on,
ordinance itself refers to
put it on our website,
education.
educate. And we're also talking about an education piece, where working with, so the stakeholders included a lot of pastors and folks from the Ward F and Ward A areas and so forth, that going to do some education pieces where bring community together, let them know about this ordinance, but also provide education about kind of understanding the market value of your home, understanding the real estate sales process, and so people understand what their rights are, so that they don't get taken in the process as well. So there's a larger piece that's going to come along with this, but this is kind of step one in a bigger step.
Could we put it in the, so that it has like a return, like with the taxes, so they don't have to go anywhere, they don't have to sign up, they could just like fill it, like return it, and it gets immediately returned when they get their tax bill? And secondly, why do they have to have a sticker? Like, why would you put the burden on the homeowner to have a sticker on their house versus the sales rep can go online and look at the registry of people who are not?
We had a sticker for years.
What we think is our peddling on the streets, but they tend not to be the most sophisticated people in the world. They tend to be lower income earners too. They have a sticker. How are they going to know if they're walking down the street?
These are
So you want them to go.
So, folks, I think,
It can't be.
Councilman Gadsden and Councilman Boggiano.
The goal, well, first, we had asked for a cease and desist, because we were basically saying for one particular area, basically from Montgomery to Kerry Woods, between Garfield and Bergen, right? We was asking for that, because we wanted to model something after what they did down in Tom River, where they had zones where there was no aggressive solicitation, things of that nature. This right here is more so a, no knock is more so putting the onus on the residents to actually say, please do not knock at this door, because all throughout the summer, it was real aggressive. People were getting into fights with people. It was just real aggressive. So this is just a way to stem the tide, and residents will have to take it upon themselves. And that's why this education piece is important, because clergy, community people, and include myself and others, will be out there knocking on doors and helping people, whatever, understand what their responsibilities are. I would say that there has to be a better way, once people start hitting the streets and start informing people, that we can do applications and submitting them to the city and getting stickers, whatever, to the residents as quick as possible. Because the thing I don't like about this is, if the residents don't register with the no knock, they could still be harassed. And so the key thing is to stop the harassment and the aggression of these folks who are, I mean, the tactics are still there. I mean, they're now brokering people from off the streets to go, so that they won't appear to be the ones actually doing the solicitation. They actually, I mean, they're paying people, so it's real aggressive. And seniors and everybody else been bought out of their homes, and it was really, it's still a serious issue inside of that, inside of the neighborhood. So we're gonna have to be more aggressive, I guess, residents and people like that, to educate and to get those stickers on people's doors and to get them inside of this registry as quick as possible, because it's really, it was really sad what was going on during the
Yeah,
summertime.
I completely agree, yeah.
Real sad.
I almost just wonder if you can't, listen, we should pass this and get something, right? Like, I'm not saying any differently, but I almost wonder, could we separate it out, the real estate from the blah, blah, blah peddler, and have maybe just a different.
Well, it's not just real estate, I should be clear, this is commercial solicitation, correct?
Yes, it has to be.
You remember when Brett Sherman was mayor, we had red stickers on the door, the big square red sticker?
That was
It worked
right.
great, it worked great.
Well,
Yeah, that was for,
No soliciting.
leaflets. It wasn't solicitation.
With all the.
Yeah, yeah.
The program you worked was very good.
Look, I think
Yeah,
that the
they
sticker,
were
the
on,
decal
that was
serves a
litter.
dual purpose, which is not just to warn the
Yes.
person, but it provides peace of mind for the homeowner
Yeah.
who feels that they have some
Protection.
legislative protection and authority there.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then it's advertising to the rest of the community as well, who walks by and they're a homeowner and they see that and they say, oh yeah, that's important. Okay, any other questions?
And you can send out the stickers to everybody and say it's only valid if you've actually registered, but then, that might be a good adoption technique, says the marketer.
Yes.
Tomorrow.
Okay.
Start the heights.
I'm gonna call up Carmen here.
10Y?
She has 10Y as in
Just because.
you, as in yo-yo.
So here's your 10Y. It's a resolution before you. Can you guys hear me? I heard an echo. Yep. So remember a couple months ago, you guys approved a contract with PricewaterhouseCoopers to help develop our compliance plan. I'm back before you again because they have limited the liability to $2 million, and that wasn't part of the original scope. The reason why PricewaterhouseCoopers has asked for the $2 million cap is because it's not really permissible on their end to have unlimited liability. When you move from working with a smaller scale, I would say mom and pop kind of sort of developer, or consultant to a larger scale of the Fortune 500 companies, there is a cap liability on this. So in order for us to move forward, I'm back in front of you to approve this resolution to limit the liability in the contract to $2 million.
Previously approved.
And yeah, you guys previously approved it. The only thing is that.
Insurance components being amended.
Yep.
Okay, any questions? No. None? Thank you, Carmen. And who's left?
Stacy? Bob Baker?
Oh, Stacy, how many do you have?
I have one that's legitimately mine.
Stacy goes first, Bob, I'm sorry. Yeah? I know.
Okay.
Which is your item?
Well, one is the walk-on that I just gave you. So that is a resolution authorizing the city of Jersey City to accept a gift from Jim Jamborg to the residents from OTG, New York. Yeah.
So Councilman Young requested earlier.
Oh, yeah. That was a very good, one of the Korean company donating $40,000 worth of the, food for the peoples in this area. And by box is 1,000 boxes. Each box has a 32 pack of that instant noodle. I think that is a good gesture. So we put in, I think, lot of noodles, but it's good. So, yeah. Yeah. It's good. It's a help to people. It's a love it. People love it. People.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's a late item that's being added to the agenda.
Yes.
What else do you have?
Oh, Stacy, but do me a favor, that 1,000 case is allowed, so they like to know, and the way have to delivery, when you like the delivery, so we have to arrange that.
Yep.
Because they have
Once the council passes it, then I'll follow up with you and we will coordinate a delivery and pickup. So for those that don't know, every Sunday morning, we manage the food redistribution from Blue Apron. None of the proceeds come to the city, so we've never passed a resolution regarding this, but we get about 8 pallets of produce that go directly to all the soup kitchens and pantries, churches, and other organizations that apply. We've got about 47 organizations that are signed up with us. We have volunteers that come every Sunday morning to our city parking lot. And then I have 10E. And this is a resolution authorizing the City of Jersey City Department of Health and Human Services to accept grant funds from the New Jersey Healthcare Quality Institute to be used for efforts towards community health programming. This is year 2 of a 3-year grant that we work on in partnership with NJHQI. That funding comes from the United Health Foundation, and this funding will go towards a partnership convening event in April. Yeah.
All right, thank you. We've got Bob Bender with 9 items.
Okay, starting with?
And we're starting with 10D. 10D is in David. 10D.
You got everything?
D.
Is the housing authority off-duty agreement?
Yeah, this is our annual renewal of our providing uniform services, off-duty police officers.
The annual renewal for the Housing Authority.
Right, and this is all performed at a reduced rate.
As opposed to the normal off-duty ordinance.
Okay, questions? How much is the price?
Could be, we have $35 for municipal jobs, and it's $50 an hour for other off-duty jobs. I think this is $30 an hour. They have a limited budget, and they try to maximize the number of officers at the site, so.
$30 an hour included the administration fee include? Or includes what? The administration, City of Jersey charge for?
Does not include.
It's not included, so actually they have to pay more than $30, okay? Yes or no? Or that $30 includes the administration fee? When I read that, it was not clear.
I think if they're exempt from the administrative fee. Exempt.
Exempt from the administration?
I think that's what this agreement says.
But they're not exempt from being administered, having
Correct.
administration.
Okay.
Right.
Second thing is this, maybe you can, somebody can explain to that. When I see that the shares service agreement between so-and-so, that where is the housing authority, kids authority, police officer, to help the first and the promote housing authority, one strike policy. What is the one strike policy? Page 1.
One strike policy, I think that's a HUD policy, isn't it, to dispossess a tenant in the event that there's a drug dealer at the house, or, you know, certain crimes, certain elements of crimes in public housing, you're required, you get one strike and you're out.
So,
Any member of the household.
Once they're out.
Certain types of
Well, we don't control that.
It's a certain type.
It's a federal policy by regulation.
Chris, you had a question?
I was going to ask what type of services are provided because I don't know. But what type of services do off-duty officers provide?
Security.
Walk through the halls,
Just ride around.
Security presence.
And these actually assist the housing authority in doing that.
At certain facilities.
Did we provide the motor vehicle too?
Police cars.
No?
They're plainclothes cars usually, unmarked cars.
How did you know?
Have a uniform presence and so.
These folks are already utilized at the housing developments?
Are they currently there? Yeah.
At which sites? Because I don't know, it's not.
See.
Might be all the housing projects.
Is all of them?
I don't have the actual. Can you provide by tomorrow information about the sites and then what kind of hours that they work?
Yeah. And are they currently like there now, like
Right now?
right there on the sites and everything?
Oh, yeah, they watch station, they watch the security cameras, they walk and patrol.
People can go sit outside and stuff without worrying about congregation.
Every complex. Each complex. The only reason why I ask is because like folks down there at Marion, you know, like they ask no questions about police presence. And so you were saying that they were actually at the housing sites, and I just wanted to know like where, because some people say that the only time I see a police officer is when I call, but you're saying that there are actually people at different housing sites, and I just wanted to know like who's there, especially like down there at Marion and things like that.
So because the housing authority is paying them, they do the work that the housing authority is asking them to do. So housing authority might be asking them to patrol different sites at different times.
So I would have to probably ask.
Maybe Marvin Walton can tell you exactly the schedule. Councilman Moselle might know a little
You
bit
have,
more.
what, 5 or 6 different projects. You may have 4 plainclothes guys out riding around. If they go down to Curry Woods, if they're asking the rest or something like that, they're gone for the night. You know, it's multiple, traveling around to each different project. Sometimes you might have a uniform guy, but they're usually plain clothes. They were very effective years ago, and then I don't know what happened. I think they stopped.
Yeah, I just wanted to know the specifics, especially with safety down there like Marion.
And, you're right too, like, let's say when Curry Woods was up, you got those giant buildings there. 99.9% of the people never gonna see a cop, they're inside, but they're around, and they were effective.
Okay, next item. We got 10J. J is in Jack.
A grant application from the Department of Law and Public Safety for the distracted driving 2017 grant.
$500. This grant will provide coverage of the overtime for the officers for the initiative, so it will not cost the city.
It's like the click it and ticket.
Yes, yeah, it's different government programs.
Okay, 10L.
Larry?
Tomahawk defense.
This was marksmanship training and active shooter training conducted for our ESU officers.
Any questions about 10L?
We paid for $20,000 4 days? Well, how many days of training is it?
This says from August 29th through September 2nd.
Yes.
29, but the other one they say the August 22nd to September 2nd. So that's why I get confusing. It's the same, but they have 2 different rates. One they say August 29, 2006 to September 2nd, 2016, and the down they say August 22nd to September 2nd. So which one is right? It's a big difference there.
August 22nd to September 2nd.
One date is a typo.
Typo?
Where's the other one?
It says it's in spot, you got the 29th, and then he's referring to the 22nd.
No, that's 2016.
They're both 16.
4 days. So it's a big difference. 4 days is $28,000, and 9 days is $28,000, a big difference. So which one is it? 4 days we pay $28,000, or we pay $20,000 for 9 days? Which one we pay?
There might be 2 different types of training.
Yes.
And one is.
Check it tomorrow.
It's 2 different types.
Check for tomorrow.
Check tomorrow, but one of the things that Tomahawk does, Councilman, is like, if they're doing marksmanship with the long rifles, that's strictly the ESU guys who are in that particular field. But if we do active shooting, that will go from ESU guys all the way down to even patrol officers, and there's a lot more intent of the program going in. But Tomahawk has been providing, all of this training for the Jersey City Police Department.
So now $20,000, how many officers are training?
That I'll have to get from police department on that.
Thank you. So we'd like to know how many days of training. I don't want to listen to what the rich say. You say, 2 different. Listen, one price, so give me that. And the second.
This might be some of those scenarios where they have in the buildings.
You're looking at multiple training here. It's not just one. Right, and then it depends on how many officers, are taken in on that as well. and the length of time.
Is there any way, like, I know a few officers went by this training, but do they get like a certificate of completion, any type of credential from this?
I'll find out from Tawan if they issue that.
That department has those credentials.
Councilman,
Okay, so that's what I want to know, how many officers they training? And so how many days they train, that's all, no?
actually, before you go on, so, just realize I remember this is for services rendered.
Yes, services rendered.
Which begs the question as to why this is coming to us after the fact, and it's actually, that's a rhetorical question, it shouldn't be coming to us after the fact. And so if you can communicate that to Director Shea, and I'll be happy to speak to him directly myself, but how was this bid on, or what's the, so we have an obligation, a legal obligation, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus here, Bob, you shouldn't have to take this, so we have a legal obligation, a fiduciary responsibility as council people, to make sure that these appropriations and resolutions are conducted in accordance with public, what is it called, what's the process called? Public procurement processes, and so we're paying for it after the fact, which, yeah, I mean, what would happen if we didn't pay for this? Yeah.
They'd sue us,
They'd sue us, yeah,
and then we'd pay them.
and we'd end up paying them anyway.
Services rendered, right.
Right. So this is not the first time, I guess I would say, that this has happened with public safety.
Same vendor.
And same vendor, oh, there you go. So.
You can't get paid.
Okay.
Okay, the next item,
10S.
10S is in Sam.
Culver Corp.
S is in Sam, 10S.
COPA is the public safety recording system. I'm sure as the council knows that all public safety transmissions over the radio are recorded, including telephone conversations at the communication center. So all 911 calls are coming in, dispatcher calls, everything is recorded. This is the annual maintenance to keep the system up and running, and it is mandatory by AG guidelines that we maintain that system. And it also includes phones at the front desk of the districts.
So the mandate means we have to keep the record, that's the mandate, or we have to keep the record by analog, which is a mandate?
We have to maintain those records by law, by Attorney General guidelines.
Analog system? What?
On all communications.
Or digital?
Oh, they're both. We have both.
So
the reason-
mandate, we have to be recorded for both?
Yes, we have both.
Okay, good.
I don't know, I think that sounds familiar to something, and I don't have it like right in front of me, but what's the difference between this service agreement and something we voted on last meeting? Like there was something, whatever, in the dealing with the maintenance and warranty of all the radio systems, the telecommunications.
Is that the Entrada system? The phone systems, maybe? We did the phone systems last meeting. Entrada, was it?
Yeah.
And Viper?
Yeah.
And the Viper system?
Yeah, that's separate.
They have a lot of systems over there that we haven't maintained.
You need to come visit.
Put you on the channel one night. All right, 10T.
Okay, 10T,
Tomahawk again.
Tomahawk again. Can't even find it, where is it?
10T. Contract Tomahawk Defense.
What's the amount on that?
This is 24. Purchasing some holographic sights.
Oh, yes, that's the purchase for the scopes on the long rifles. I'm looking where that one is.
43
43 pieces, $590 per piece. All right.
Questions?
No.
Next item, 10U. It's contracted Dennis McSweeney for
K9
monthly K9 training.
He's the best in the state at what he does.
Yeah, it is, and that's for
He's
12 K9 dogs. Just like police officers have to qualify twice a year with their weapon. The dogs are under almost the same guidelines. They must qualify as to how they are conducted with their trainer, responding to commands, the whole bit to maintain that certification. Because when you look at it, you can consider the dog is also, it's his partner, and it's also a weapon. So they must be certified. And again, that is also under Attorney General guidelines. There's a little bit in the thing, I believe, underneath that really explains the scope of what each dog and handler goes through to the certification. It's quite intense.
And, are we gonna get any more canines? Is that in the,
To my knowledge, we will not.
Can I ask one thing?
But I'm just going that we would have to ask Director.
Okay, can I see that the invoice?
Done? Yeah. Done, okay. When I see that, what do they call? That invoice, there are 5, they say training of 5 patrol dog, 5 dog. And they say 5 dog, 4 explosive detector dog, 4. And the 1 is a narcotic dog, 1. So total 5, 9, 10 dog. But why they charge 12? The invoice here. They give a quotation for that. When you see the itemized, 5 patrol dog, and the 4 explosive detectable dog, 9, and the 1 narcotic detector. So altogether 10 dog, but why they charge 12 dog?
I was told that we are putting 12 dogs through this course.
So
maybe only 10 will grab. It's serious.
What they should do, Bob, and I'm gonna speak for Shay, if we get any more new dogs.
Quote sheet I have says 12.
Yeah.
If we get any more new dogs, the cops should live in the city. We have dogs now, we have a car that goes to
Yeah, but I
Tom's
have
River.
the
It's wrong,
description.
and they should be live in the city and stay here in the city.
So now, let me ask you this one.
Let's get this worked out.
Yes.
Sorry, let's get it worked out.
Okay.
So you have a discrepancy, 10 or 12, yeah.
9, 10 dog or 12 dog?
That's what I want to know.
We have 12.
I'll tell you.
We have a 12 dog. Okay? That's what I'm saying. I just want to know how many dog we have. Because what they say and what they charge is different, but we have a 12 dog. All right?
So maybe we'll get 2 for free.
So please, so we'll see.
Well, they quote 1,600 per dog times 12 equals 19,200.
Yeah, but I mean, when you write it.
I know, so in the description, they didn't write it.
This couldn't say so, just make sure, okay? The math is right. All right, let's go.
Okay.
Next.
You have 10.
V is the
V?
Victor.
Gold type business machines for the installation of Zetron alerting system under state contract.
Any questions on 10V?
W, turnout fire and safety for the purchase and delivery of protective gear and equipment under state contract. For fire, no one's here from fire.
Tom's got it.
That's mandated by OSHA and, of course, the fire union contract that this is performed. Well, OSHA, yeah.
Cleaning them, I'm sorry.
This is not clean, we're gonna purchase a new
No,
one.
this is not the, this is not. the-
It's a purchase.
I saw one for cleaning.
Okay, no questions on 10W?
So
10X?
now,
Okay.
listen, do me a favor, Bob. We're gonna spend the $420,000 to purchase that protective gear and equipment. Can't you put just some list at least, so this city council knows what we're gonna purchase and how we're gonna spend $420,000? You just say it's because to prove that the $420,000 spending without knowing any itemized, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm not feel comfortable. So at least can put you some, what kind of protective gear they purchased, and which items involved. So we all know that, can't you? So before Wednesday, I like to have some list.
When I went through that this morning, though, I remember seeing that there was a detailed description of what they were buying with the item numbers. I didn't print it because I walked in, but it was on the resolution when I went online to look at it.
Back of the package, an itemized list of everything they're buying.
This is the one? Yeah, but all quantities one.
That's, yeah, the quantity is all one.
Right.
So no.
Times,
The question is-
times 600 members. Got it.
it's a 600 members, then we purchase one item, 600 piece. So we know that the cost is $420,000. But when you see that, nothing. And even here, come on, okay, do me a favor. Give me a list of what we purchased. So when the firefighter complained that the hour here is too old, then we can say, let's say we spent $420,000.
No, we don't buy the uniforms every year.
All right, good.
All right. X is Minerva Bunker for cleaning, decontamination, inspection and repair of all firefighting protective gear.
So you know what I'm saying? Because we're gonna spend $420,000 on new equipment, and if we purchase that, while we have spent the how much is it? $36,000, repairing. You know what I'm saying? So we just want to make sure that, okay?
Yeah, that is also, this is performed per OSHA regulations, and it's performed every 2 years. Just have that old spin cube one. That's the one that was mixed up at the last meeting.
Z6.
Z6, yeah.
Z6 is the last one at the bottom.
Z6, I'm sorry, Bob?
Z6, this is the complimentary spin cube one that I think Councilman Young made mention of last meeting.
Yes. So
Yeah,
now,
if they put the wrong one before at the last, this is the one that was supposed to be on that last,
Yes.
meeting.
Let me ask this one. If we see the invoice, that's what I'm saying. I mentioned the last time they withdraw and they pull back and then they come with something else. I get confused. Now, we're going to purchase it very simple. Whichever get it, we're going to purchase 3 desktop computer. Intel Core i5. That is actually 50th generation computer. And we're going to pay $1,353 for computer per computer. $1,300.53 per computer. But from the maintain the desktop computer, we're going to pay $2,474.44. Here. I mean, you purchase a $1,300 computer, and the yearly maintenance is a $2,400 you're going to pay for? Do me a favor. Last time they withdrew, and they thought maybe I forgot. They have sent executive paper, bring back this council.
No, it was approved at the last meeting. Director Shea was here.
No, there was a different, was it? There was a...
actually, it was supposed to be that
No.
Councilman.
Yes, sir. The other one, why was the I say okay? Because there was the last one was a printer, was it? Full printer, huge printer. So they have some maintenance involved. I understand that the huge printer has a lot of problem. So it's okay, that's the one. This is a total different one. This one, I think a month ago, they print agenda. When I bring up the issue, they withdraw and they come back, reject the same things all over again. Come on, this is enough because we respect you. You do so much.
I promise you, that was all procured without going through public safety IT. As I said to you last time, we have since had a meeting. We will no longer purchase anything from SpinCube. That's the last. We don't do that anymore. We do our own installations. We do our own maintenance. We have our own specifications as to what to buy. So going forward, what that brought to light was that they must go through my department and buy through the specifications that we have established for public safety. You will not see that anymore. I was just upset with that as you are.
So what happened now?
That is being paid for by a grant. They must spend the money because it's about to expire. So I just let it go through. They do need it. It's critical equipment that they need for our Intel department and stuff. And then you are not going to see that going forward. The city is not paying for that. That's coming strictly out of grant money.
Listen to me. With all due respect, city not going to pay. We come and pay by its grant. That grant, you pay, I pay, everybody's here. So still taxpayers' dollars. So now,
What's the issue here?
because of grant, so we don't mind to pay $2,477 for the repairing and the maintenance contract.
Maintenance for a system that we're just buying.
Let's move on.
And I think the issue that came up, if we don't use that now, we lose it.
Use the grant.
Yeah. That's why they wanted to get that pushed. That's why even I backed off.
So is this supposed to be a 4-year contract? So we have 1 year, the first year should be in the warranty, and then 3 additional years after that?
That's the way I feel.
So manufacturer suggests that maintenance service for 1 year, we're gonna pay $2,477 for $1,300 in extra stuff.
Going to handle this.
I'm gonna get some more
Into the
details.
bylaws tomorrow.
Okay. What's going on here?
All right, we'll go.
He promised me I'll make it be his.
My focus tomorrow.
Bob, you're done?
I'm done.
Okay, let's pick it up at Z.
Actually, can I know a couple of folks are just waiting here, so we just knock them out. Gene, you have a franchise ordinance, right?
Yeah, Gene's actually first thing on the agenda,
3A.
vacating a portion of Day Street.
That's why I was here.
That's by the American Can Company.
Yeah.
Over by the American Can Company.
This is on St. Paul's Avenue, very, very far down St. Paul's Avenue, almost as close to the water. Day Street is a street on paper, but it doesn't exist down in the grid of Jersey City. It is actually in the parking lot of the building that my client is purchasing. Purchase building in the parking lot, and Day Street is located in his parking lot. He wants to have the street vacated for security reasons mainly, and a couple of good things will occur for the city. The purchase is going to start he does sets and technology for corporate shows. So he'll employ 25 people at this location in Jersey City. When the street is vacated, the city will collect taxes from the vacated street. And he is also going to work with the Snyder technology people for internships to work in his project. About 50 by 200.
So 10,000 square feet.
It's a little different than the Liberty Science Center, and the reason...
Because we got another issue up in the Heights, same thing where they want us to vacate the street. And they,
Okay.
Shouldn't they pay for the property?
Well, actually, they do. Actually, when the street is vacated, the tax collector goes in and assigns a value, and they pay ad valorem taxes on the property.
And here's what you have to understand. Everyone owns to the center of the street, with rare exception. They already own the property to the center of the street, whoever is on either side. What the city owns is an easement. They own the right-of-way. So all the city does with a street vacation is they vacate the right-of-way, and the ownership of the property reverts to the owners on either side, which in this case are both. He owns both sides. So they already own it. But now, when the street is vacated, which is just a surface right-of-way, when that gets vacated, then they will then pay taxes on it. But you can't sell people their own property. And the public right-of-way, presumably, that rendered the land underneath it really valueless if there's a street on it. Now you're just giving it back to them.
So in other words, if we see a vacate any street in Jersey, any street, we're not able to sell the streets.
No, you can't
No, we don't sell it. The city tax assessor then places a value on the property, and they pay taxes
Because
on
now it
what
doesn't have a right-of-way.
what they formerly never paid taxes on. Colgate, for example, one couldn't drive down Grand Street or drive down Montgomery or one of the other streets over into Colgate, because they had all of the gates up. They vacated all of those streets so that Colgate could keep a perimeter. All of those vacations were vacated, and they became public streets again. This is giving this petitioner security, and it's putting a few dollars in the city's pocket.
So when somebody dedicates a street, they're just giving the city a right-of-way. They're giving the city an easement, a right-of-way over property that they actually own. It's just it doesn't have any value to them, until that right-of-way is actually vacated. So that's why there's no tax generated by that. But they still own title to the property. There are a couple of rare exceptions where the city actually does own the fee title, they call it, like actually owns to the center of the earth, as it were. But most streets in the city, it's just the right-of-way.
But they will begin to pay taxes on the vacated portion of the street.
Yeah, correct. Well, yes, and the reason they do is because once that easement is vacated, the value of now the land has value. Now you can build on it and use it or whatever, so.
Professionals, as long as no buildings are built over it, over sewer lines, we have a lot of, it's gone through the whole thing through engineering, police and fire to make sure that nothing is built on top of any of our infrastructure, so it's ready to go.
You have such a great spoken person. Wow, take care of that already.
All right.
No photo pictures, no.
Thank you, Gene.
All right, E, we're creating,
We got,
sorry.
Gene Paulino, Mr. White, and Jim, are you with everybody? Who are you with?
Second reading ordinance, just.
Second reading. Do you want to talk about 16 Bennett? Sure. We have a late item being added to the agenda. Which one is it?
It is the,
It's a 20-year tax exemption by 16 Bennett Street.
So there was some mix-up from agenda meeting to here, and for whatever reason, but this was supposed to be on the agenda, this meeting. And so it's being added for your consideration as a late item. This is in Ward B. And Councilman Gadsden has met with developers and vetted this extensively. And I will turn it over to Gene Paulino, who will regale you with his tales of...
This is your first reading, right?
Yes, sir. This is first reading.
So this is at Bennett Street. It's a property that is presently vacant. It's on the far west side of town. It's a block from Route 440. It's really across from the Hudson Mall. That's basically the general location of it. It is subject to the Water Street redevelopment plan. It's in a redevelopment area. And site plan approval for a 5-story, 63-unit building, residential rental building was obtained. In that 63 units is 6 affordable housing units. The developer's here with me, Jeff White. Jeff has spoken with Pierre Leandre for the project employment and compensation agreement to get Jersey City people working there. They've had a very fruitful discussion. We've even changed the PICA agreement slightly to make it a little bit more, I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. How did I miss you? And we've gone through the full analysis with the Tax Abatement Committee. Al Cameron has done the fiscal impact analysis. At the end of the day, although the policy permits an 11% abatement on annual gross revenue, the tax pilot here is at 11.5%. It's for a 20-year period. The present taxes on the property are $22,302. $22,000. It's vacant land. The projected taxes for the pilot is for the first year. Instead of 22, it's going to be $202,000. The difference over the term of the abatement is for 20 years is substantial. It goes from $450,000 if you didn't do anything to $4 million if you do this project. The number of jobs were calculated at 50 construction jobs with 1 direct full-time job. The affordable units are of different kinds. I mean, there are 2 1-bedrooms, there's 3 2-bedrooms, there's 1 3-bedroom unit, and as I said, it's vacant land. So I think it fits clearly into the redevelopment aims of the redevelopment plan. It fits right into the policy. Actually, it's a little bit more than the policy calls for. The affordable provisions are what they are, and we intend to try to get as many Jersey City people there as possible, under contract, by the way. So we think this is a great project. It's a 5-story project. It's not a big project. Total of 63 units. I'll answer any questions you have. What other project am I doing? Oh.
In Jersey City, this is the first. No.
Did you speak to the councilman before B about it? You like this? You don't like it?
This is next to what, the Purple People Eater?
Councilman Gadsden?
I've spoken to Jeff extensively, along with Pierre and Reverend McCrae. Another thing, and you'll probably get this to me a little later on about the additional jobs on that site, because the insurances that I received, outside of it, having affordability and all the rest of that, was that Jersey City residents are definitely going to be gainfully employed on this project. And this is one of those first projects that I can actually walk through and see through and see if I can, trust some folks.
And they won't run out of the building in purple, right?
Well, yeah, all that purple dye factory, all that contaminant.
It's across the street from this building.
It's across the street from it, and there's work being done to help remediate that site and to bring that thing up, because the whole area is going to be redeveloped. So I like this project. Affordability is built into it. Dollars, whatever, coming back to the city, and my ultimate thing is the promise, whatever, of employment and the things that Frank and the department's going to work on over the next couple of months. I like to see those things coming to fruition. So I'm a little more comfortable with this project. Whatever.
So you're comfortable with 20 years? I'm going to go based on your, being this.
Is this a PLA?
No. Okay, guys.
Pete?
All right. Any other questions? All right.
Second reading ordinances. Oh, sorry, we're creating a title for Program Development Specialist 3. Any questions on the second reading ordinances? Mr. McCann, good night.
Good night, everybody.
To the balance of resolutions, let's see if we can do this quickly. 10A is an emergency temporary appropriation. B, a calendar year 2016 appropriation reserve transfer. C, we're doing the introduction of the Jackson Hill Main Street Special Improvement District budget. D through J, done. K is authorizing extension of existing contracts with insurance brokerage firms until March 31, 2017.
This is this is based on what? What kind of, how the commission structure will build this?
It's going to be flat fee. It's going to be a fixed rate. So just tidying up the process, that's why we need an extra 30 days.
So fixed rate based on that, so that, in other words, a bidding process based on that,
We're going to put a cap. We're going to say, we're not paying more than X. That's the maximum amount of, you get to bid below that. Whoever gives us the best price, all right? And other criteria to be considered as well, as long as they can handle the size of our account, they have the experience, not just, price is one factor.
Is an award of contract to Orico Reports Incorporated for background check services for city employees. Z is an agreement with Apparuzays, McDermott, Mastro, and Murphy to represent the city of Jersey City in negotiations with the local firefighters.
These are stuff that's been Z, and then Z7 through Z21 are resos we've pulled last meeting because they didn't have purchase orders. Already approved by council. There was just a correction of the account number and the PO number. Okay.
Z didn't get bunched with the others, Bob, sorry about that. Z1, an amendment with Charles Montaigne 6th Street embankment.
How much money now are we up to on the embankment, this joke? Is that your request for information?
Yeah.
How much money have we spent
So,
so far?
this one,
Can we provide that to us?
well, this is another $75,000. So how much so far we spend for the 6th Street embankment?
Break the resolution.
It's not there.
We can get a summary of the dollars.
Okay.
The amount of money spent on,
Mr. Montaigne's contract?
yes.
Z2, amending a contract that awarded a professional services agreement with Riker, Danzig, Scherer, Highland, and Peretti, LLP. Z3 is awarding a professional services agreement to Andrew Abrams to act as the Chief Municipal Public Defender in addition to performing his duties as Public Defender for the calendar year 2017. Z4, awarding professional services agreements to attorneys at law to serve as public defenders. Z5, authorizing the execution of a mortgage subordination for property at 2022 Kennedy Boulevard. We did Z6. Z7, as Mr. Kaklowski alluded to, Z7 through Z18.
I don't have Z5 on my packet, but do I have Z5?
You don't have what?
Z5 is right here.
No, I have it.
It was a late item, right?
I have it.
Okay, you got it?
Z7 to G20.
21.
Is a
21, right. So now we have Local 246 contract at Z22. William Graw, I did a resolution for Councilman, for the late police officer William Graw for Councilman Bajano. The discharge of mortgage at 1209 Summit and the gift of Jim Janjong.
Any questions on Z24, 22, the contract?
So how'd you make it out that the submitted with 1209 submitted? Yeah, because I see that this is the resolution for them, right?
They will, the purchaser, the new purchaser, sent the city a check for $88,000. We are going to retain $24,000 of that until we know for sure that they have complied with all the terms of the mortgage, and we're going to give them the difference, which is about, I don't know, what does it come to? $60,000 roughly. So that's how it's getting resolved. And going forward, as to the other unit owners, they shouldn't have this problem, because the problem we had with this unit, frankly, was that they proceeded before giving the city any written notice of what they were doing. With the other unit owners, we've worked with Stucky Beebe, I think is his name. He's the condo president, and he will tell his, just kind of confirm for his members that they have to give the city advance notice so that we can work with them so that they can get their entire amount instead of now these people will get everything except for, they'll get 75% now. The other 25% they may get a year from now if they can prove that the new owner has complied.
Okay, so another quick question.
Yes, Dan.
Just on the,
This, Health and Human Services, this Jin Jang Bong? Is that what that is?
Donation.
that was a donation of noodles going to where?
To us. So Stacy's going to be distributed to the citywide for the...
Seniors?
Not the senior.
Oh, just.
The
Just you.
hunger rescue program.
Yeah,
okay.
it's going to be very nice. Good gesture. So now...
The reason I ask is because
High salt.
I know this has a high salt content, so if you give it to seniors, it's gonna be a problem,
So...
Hey, by the way,
Stories happy ending.
Codes, I asked the people of state.
I'm happy.
Yes.
Okay, Councilman Gatson?
Did you introduce this yet?
I mentioned this is the folks that have been coming to the last few meetings, the Chico family.
So they getting paid?
This is going to ameliorate the situation.
They'll get
To the
75% of it now, and likely another 25% at the end of next year if they can prove certain compliance. But this will not happen to the other unit owners because they will know enough to, it's unique to them because they proceeded without letting us know. Yeah.
There's a typo.
Typo, Summit, some area, the title.
I pointed that out to Joe.
Is there anyone else who would like to point that out? There was, you wanted...
Okay, questions? Thank you.
Motion at 7:39 by Councilman Rivera. Seconded by me, Bagiano.
First time in 3.5 years I seconded anything.
Gajewski absent, Gadsden here. Bagiano here, Yun. Osborne absent, Robinson here. Rivera, Waterman absent, Council President Lavaro. We are out of here. Good night.
Good night.